Okay. So it says here that we're live. So let me just check on Facebook and
Okay, let me see.
okay. Okay. Yeah, I just made it public so you can
Okay,
see it and you can share to other people as well.
perfect.
Okay. Mhm. Okay, so I'm done. Okay, so hello everybody. I hope everybody's doing good who all are watching. Today we have Marta. And honestly, I really love the fact that I'm interviewing her, though we have rescheduled. But I feel like the energy's there, and I hope that I know more about her. She knows more about me, and you guys know more about her as well. So, hello, Marta. How you?
Thank you so much for the invite, Rahim. Super, super excited to get to know more about you. I was super impressed by everything you've done, so I'm super happy to be here.
Honestly, I'm just as happy to have you. Okay, so let's hear your introduction, and then we can kickstart this interview.
Perfect.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, sure. Okay, so my name is Marta, and I am the founder of Garage Stories, which is a innovation lab for emerging media. We were born in 2017 in Silicon Valley. And the idea, because I was coming from the film industry, was to help filmmakers transition to emerging forms of storytelling. And so the whole idea was to organize labs and hackathons where we would bring people from different backgrounds, from storytellers to coders, developers, architects, psychologists, anything, and to explore and in a way craft the language of these new mediums. But the more we've been working on, the more that we are focusing on using the power of community and co-creation of stories so as to co-create stories for a better world. So our main goal right now is to innovate in communication and how can this new narrative foster our imaginariums of what a better world could look like. And we keep using the community as our main source of inspiration and empowering them to be the creators, because we believe that in order to create that stories for a better world, these stories need to be told in community and they have to include everyone's voices.
I totally agree with you. Now tell me, let's like start from take it from the start. Where were you born?
I was born in Barcelona just a few days before the Berlin Wall was torn down in 1989.
Ah, I see. I mean, I love the fact. I mean, I think you're the first person who's sharing their own age here on the show because people are reluctant, and it's you're typically that women are reluctant. So, I mean, I love sharing my age.
I'm
Uh,
super happy to share my age. I actually have the same age as you, but inverted. So I think you're 13 and I'm 31.
yeah, I mean, if you kind of like swap the
Yeah,
numbers,
we
that's
give
the
it
same.
up.
You know, it's like a here and a there. Nobody really cares, right? So, you were born in Barcelona. I've actually always wanted to be to, wanting to go to Barcelona because I feel like after the hike and, football fans and stuff, everybody wants to go there, right? Okay, now tell me, how many siblings did you have, or did you have any?
No, I don't have any. I think my parents freaked out after having me.
I see. I mean, I feel like you're lucky that you don't have any siblings, yet it's not like the best thing. I mean, when you're angry, you just get to take it out on somebody. Yeah, you just have
To be
somebody.
honest, when I was a child, I didn't care that much because I had friends at school and I didn't even, I thought that just things are like this, right? It's like some sort of random thing whether you get brothers or not. But the more I grow old, the more I wish that I have brothers, because
Mhm.
it would be so lovely to have like someone also to take care of my parents. I mean, not that they need it, but in the future, I guess. And also, like, I just would love to have some brothers
Yeah.
and
I
sisters.
mean, I only have one, but I would really love if you kind of like take it, like take
Okay,
the brother. I mean, I would love if you can.
okay, can I change for a few days?
Yeah, I mean, for a few years would be more like it, but I mean, I don't mind a few
Okay.
days. Yeah, a few days, peace.
You have a
Now
younger
tell
or
me,
an
how
older
were you
brother?
as a child?
Oh,
How was like your childhood? How was your childhood experience? And how were you as a child?
oh, okay. So I think when I was born, I was very calm. Then at some point, I think when I was about 5, I I sort of changed and I become like not hyperactive. But I was very energetic and I was always getting like running up and about. And but my childhood was like super lovely. I don't recall any. I don't know. I think it was just very sweet. Like I had like good friends. My family was super sweet. There was no major problems as I was growing up with them. And I have a lot of fun memories of summers and even from school. I remember I used to love to go to school because I was living in a big city in Barcelona. So after school, you don't really get to hang out with friends so much just because it's a big city. So
Hmm.
I remember looking forward to go to school to play. So
Yeah. And you mentioned you had a lot of friends in school as well. So tell
yeah,
me,
so
how did that change your like social life when you are now grown up?
you mean if I'm still in contact with my school friends?
No, no, I mean, it really depends on who you grow up to be. Your childhood always has an impact. And you had a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
friends in your childhood. So how does that impact your social life now?
I love that question. So actually, um, I think me and my friend, I probably my friends from school are the ones that are least similar to me, and we're all super different. Probably I'm the most different from them all. But we have a super good relationship, and I see them quite often, and I really love them very much. I think the way they impacted me probably is not the way I see life or the way I've carried on as an adult. But I think we had a very good foundation and really good values, and we really cared for each other. So, I mean, in a way, they teach me what a good friend is.
Mm. And I totally agree with you. Now, um, tell me one thing. When did you start developing interest for storytelling and for films? Was that in your teenagers?
Well, I will say this actually comes of being an only child, because I was always reading and watching movies and stories, where in a way what expanded my imagination way beyond what I was allowed to do. Because I was also the fact that, as I said, living in a big city it really conditions your activities and what you can do. So for me, like reading and watching movies,
Hmm.
what was made like, what really like got me craving for seeing the whole world, and probably that's I think stories have always been part of my life since I was very young. But also my father, he used to watch a lot of French movies. In particular, there is this movie that he will watch like 10,000 times that was called The Children of the Marshland. It's from a French
Hmm.
director. And it was a very simple movie where nothing really happens, but he loved it so much and he teach me to love these sort of stories so much as well. So it's more like daily fiction. And yeah, so I think it has always been there for me.
I see. And I love films. I mean, I know I'm 13, and a lot of because my age, I'm always very restricted as to what kind of films that I can watch. Though I only watch like 13 plus. That's it. But I feel like I too love watching films. It's kind of like I don't know. Now, first it was like a hobby and like a thing that I did. Now it's like a guilty pleasure because I could be working, I could be revising for a test because it's cool, it's family, and it's my work as well. So, but I'm so proud to say that I binge watch. So yeah, that's one of
What's
my
your favorite
achievements in
movie?
life.
What's your favorite movie, Rahim?
That is the hardest question anybody has ever asked me in my entire 13, 13 years life. If you're talking about, because I love watching Bollywood movies,
Mm-hmm.
so my favorite is probably, I have a lot, but my top, like, one of my top three would probably be The Sky is Pink, especially these days. This is amazing about the
The
girl.
sky is
Uh,
painted. I'll watch it tonight. The sky is painted. Let me write it down.
Sky is Pink. It's a Hindi film, but you can get
Okay.
the dubbed version on Netflix
Awesome.
or
I'll check it
anywhere else.
out.
Yeah. And if you need it, you can share my Netflix account. I don't mind that at all. That's how I am about films. Yeah, somebody actually asked me for a Netflix account. I'm like, you know what? Do you want the password, bro? If you want, I mean, I don't mind it. Um, Now tell me, now your dad watching films, and again, you being the only child, you wanted something to engage with. And so when did he decide that studying films is like the thing?
No,
I
I
wanna
never
go ahead.
studied film. I never studied film. That's the fun thing. So
What?
I love.
Hint? I confused it. See, I thought you studied it.
No, that's what I wanted to do. So I really love films and I wanted to study it so much. But then my father told me that this was a hobby, not a career, because it was very difficult to get a job, that I should go and study something more reliable. And so I did study business, and for the first year after school I did work in a marketing company in Berlin. That's where I
Uh-huh.
moved to Barcelona. I moved to Berlin for 5 years, and and I work at a marketing agency. But I always knew that it wasn't what I wanted to do. So after a year, I started working for a TV station, for the Russian TV in Berlin. They were doing
Mm-hmm.
this really weird selection process, and I was super thankful to them for giving me that opportunity, because it was like super random that I got that job. And actually, I got started in the media world with them in the news agency, where everything was for yesterday, and you had to be like, it was like the best training ground ever, because you had no time to think or no time to learn. You just had to learn on the go and doing. And and yeah, that's where I started. And then after a year, I quit and I moved to LA, because it was a new
Uh,
station and it was close to what I wanted, but it was not really it. So I quit my job and I went to LA, where I did study film for 4 months.
I mean, I feel like everybody who likes watching films, LA is like the place. I mean, even if you're
Yeah.
just living there, come on, it's like studios everywhere and like things everywhere going around, because LA is kind of like the center for everything in the world or something, because it has Hollywood.
Well, I think Hollywood is not in its best moment right now, but it definitely was a dream for me. And I must say that normally when you have a dream for so many years, and I'm sure you have
Mhm.
plenty of dreams, but sometimes when you have these dreams that you have for so long, then when you actually fulfill them, sometimes they are not what you expected. So they might be a bit
Mhm.
disappointed just because you dream of them so much and you have such high expectations. But I have to say that LA really meet my expectations and surpass them in some ways. So I was super happy of having done that. Though I also must say that I absolutely ruined myself studying in LA. I spent in 4 months the same amount of money that I would have spent in Barcelona studying film for 4 years. So after
Sure.
4 months, I came back to Berlin completely broke. And should I continue with the story?
Definitely. I mean, I would love
Okay.
to hear it because I totally agree with you. I just want to say one thing. Uh, LA might sound amazing. It is amazing. But, living there is like a lot of money. It costs like a fortune because we don't make millions and films do we to
Crazy the
afford
price
that
of
place.
the.
And even if you're not just kind of living there and spending and studying and going out with friends and stuff, but the thing is that the LA is the trendiest place, isn't it? Right? It has all those things and all those Instagrammable places to eat out, and you just can't hold yourself back, can you, on spending money? So I feel like that is so true. Now continue with the story. Very interested.
So yeah, so I came back from LA to Berlin, and then I so I could have came back to my old job, but I thought that if I had already went all the way there and managed to bring myself, I should at least make it worth it. So I started looking for a film job and I couldn't find because my German was so bad. And so I was sorry because I'm in a shared space and everyone is can hear because I forgot my earphones. So I started looking for a job, but I couldn't find anything. And finally, I decided to start my own film festival, which wasn't Garage Stories, which a festival before this, which called Landscape Film Festival, which the whole idea was to get filmmakers that didn't know each other to co-create stories, which were daily fiction. So the festivals, in a way, will pay a cinematic tribute to the different cities where the festival will take place. And the first edition was Berlin. I had no clue what I was doing. I just knew that I wanted to start working on something that I actually loved doing. So that was it. And the festival, it worked super well. It was crazy how many people turned down the turnout. Like I had like about 50 filmmakers, 100 actors, and then at the final premiere, it was in a cinema with a maximum capacity of 500 people, and they had to cancel any other screening because it was like a long, huge queue outside for
Oh
people
my
waiting
God.
to see the movies. It was just insane, and even the Berlin TV station came to cover it, and it was like just mind blowing. I couldn't have never predicted that. So I took the festival to Barcelona, which I organized with the city council of Barcelona, and it was like even bigger. It was like 100 filmmakers, 200 actors, 1,000 people at the premiere. It was like growing like crazy, until one point that I realized that it was great. It was a great idea, but it was like too expensive, and it was very difficult to find sponsors that were willing to pay for this sort of festival at the amount of money that it requested in order to be as good as it wanted to be. And that's when I moved to Silicon Valley because of unrelated things. Because I had a friend who was running a hacker house, so I joined the hacker house and I helped them organize events down in Silicon Valley. And when I was there is when I discovered all these emerging technologies and when Landscape Film Festival was reshaped into Garage Stories, which has the aim of a lab, not so much the production and the festival, but it's really about like innovating and generating new ideas for media. And yeah, that's what I've been doing for the last 3 years.
Amazing. So Silicon Valley, and I have this question because I watch a lot of videos about certain things. So it's said that Silicon Valley is one of the most expensive places to live in, right beside Los Angeles.
Well,
So how
they're
was
from
that
California, and I will even say that probably Silicon Valley is more expensive, but San Francisco especially because it cannot grow. So it's like LA, you have ground to grow, but San Francisco is limited by the sea. So and it's in the bay, so it's really difficult for the city to grow. So it's actually probably more expensive. I'm not sure right now. I left the last time I was there. It was last summer, but I haven't been able to go since this whole year, of course.
Yeah. Now I want to ask you, kind of like put you on the spot or something. What's your favorite film? Now I really want to Google it. The kind of film that I might be able to watch, like as a 13-year-old.
Sure. So one film that I love. Okay, I'm not sure if it's which is the age restriction. Let me think.
I'm gonna search it on IMDb. I
Okay,
usually have
so
my dad
let me
be
tell you
the parent guide.
a few movies that I love. One of them is called Victoria. Let me tell you if it's something that you can watch. Victoria, it's let's see, doesn't say. Let me see.
We're talking about Victor. Oh my god! It just showed Victoria's Secret when I tried to Google it. So
Age. Let me see. Victoria age rating is not Victoria the TV show. That it's a movie.
okay, a 2015 movie.
Yes, 2015. Let's
Oh, Is this the one a runaway party girl is asked by three friendly men to join them as they hit the town?
Yes.
The wild night, the partying turns out into a bank robbery. Sounds
Yes, that's it. Probably it's not very appropriate, Rahim. Let me think another one. Maybe Boyhood. I also loved Boyhood. Then that movie was not.
2014 film, right? Got that. After MJ's parents divorced, he and his sister Samantha live with their
Yeah,
mother, whereas father, no idea,
yeah.
and it kind of goes on.
Another one that I know was um. Oh, oh man, I think I'm telling you all movies so much. The other one I was like Birdman. I also loved
Which one? Sorry, repeat that.
Birdman.
Okay.
Also, the Grand Hotel Budapest. That one you can watch for sure. That was a very good movie.
Okay, so the Birdman that I'm getting is insane. It's like a 1971 film.
No, 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 no. Birdman is from it's 2014.
24. Oh yeah, Birdman movie. Okay,
The
got it.
Grand Budapest Hotel. You will like probably.
Definitely. It looks nice, and the
That's
rating
a
is
very
really
nice
nice
movie.
as well.
Really like it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Okay. And I can actually tell you a few movies to watch as well. I mean, I like watching
Okay.
Netflix a lot, so I watch a lot of it. So there's uh three movies that I feel like nobody in their lifetimes should like ever miss.
Okay.
Uh,
Let me
The Sky is Pink
The
first.
sky is pink. Let me write it in our private chat so you can see if I'm writing it correct. The sky is pink. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly like that. Okay, so
Vale.
it's a late 2019 film.
Okay.
Amazing. Shanali's the director of it. She just did an amazing job. Then oh my god, this is so close to my heart. Sanju. I'm gonna write it down for you.
Yeah, write it down for me.
Okay. Although it's rated 18 plus, but it's appropriate to watch because it's just because of the substance that it's rated
Okay.
18 plus. Yeah. And then comes like my favorite one, and that is PK. Yeah, it's like literal name is like PK. That is it.
PK. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. So I'm looking forward to watch them. Actually, I have some time
yeah.
this week, so I will.
What? Sorry.
I have some time this week, so I'll make sure I watch these three movies: Sky, Pink, Sanju, and PK. Are they all from Bollywood?
Yes, they all are, but all of them
Okay.
you're gonna find in English. So no problem.
Awesome.
And if you have trouble doing that, you can ask me for anything. Okay.
Perfect. And I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What
Yeah. Go ahead.
what will be your dream? How do you imagine yourself in 10 years from now?
I'd be 23. That is amazing, right? Like 10 years from now. So my dream of life is to empower everybody around me, regardless of their race, religion, or national or professional backgrounds. And I see myself doing that as a businesswoman.
Awesome. And how did this
Yeah.
passion started? How did you decide to start doing this? Because I think it's amazing.
It is. I started as a stand-up comedian. And yeah, so that is where I started from. Then came my writing, my entrepreneurship, my acting, which I totally love, and I would love to brag about it to you. Let's be truthful, okay?
Sure, I told you
And
we don't have any movie.
yeah, no, I never acted in a movie, which is one of my things that I really want to do. And so I actually am a theater actress. I work at the theater, which is amazing. And I work solely on child abuse. I only do plays that are telling children about their rights and how to address if child abuse has been there, taken place. Or I do plays that are just telling when awkward situations are just kind of stirring up in a child's life and how to just kind of deal with them. I've done puppet plays. I've done normal plays.
Yeah.
I usually am the lead. So yeah, nice.
Awesome. Done a lot of things. I think when I was 13, what I had done, probably, I don't know, some artwork for a class.
I feel like every time every person realizes themselves at a different age, and that's different that I did when I was 10, but it's different if you did at another age. But I think it's very and I really want to say this, everybody, that it's really fascinating that right now we're sitting in like very different cities of different countries around like the globe, and our ages are almost the same, almost, and we're sitting here and we're talking about a common interest. And I feel thanks to the technology, which brings me to my next question. When you were in Silicon Valley, how overwhelming was it to see all that technology around you? Because Silicon Valley, I mean, who doesn't know it? But secondly, Silicon Valley is kind of like the hub for all the technology, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I didn't really feel overwhelmed because I think when you are in a place that you don't really have to prove anything because it's not your place, it gives you some sort of freedom that I knew other people didn't have because I was going from film. I wasn't interested in technology. I was just there taking a 3 months break to think about what I wanted to do. So I never thought that I was there trying to make anything. So probably that made me feel so relaxed in a way. And I was just super curious. And I think that even if I didn't plan the way I handle my experience there, probably that's the way you should handle
Mm-hmm.
your experiences anywhere. Because just feeling that you have to prove something or that you are in a rush is not it always it doesn't take the best out of you. But I think I was just curious and super fascinated by everything that I was discovering, but I wasn't really feeling the pressure to do anything with what I was discovering, which I end up doing. But I didn't feel the pressure. I was just more like trying to enjoy and learn,
Mm-hmm.
being super curious.
Yeah. And I honestly totally, love what you just said. And you know what? I really want to ask you something. I feel like films are very, very powerful.
They
Entertainment in
are.
general is, but films, they're just so powerful because a film shown in cinema, there's people of different ages. There's people from different professional backgrounds, at times different national backgrounds that are watching this film, this common thing. And yet this takeaway can be different.
It is true. And actually, I have a TEDx talk about the power of film that I did in Guatemala in 2018. And the,
Wait.
the whole premise behind the labs we do now is how powerful storytelling is and how we need to be careful about the stories we tell. And as you were saying, you only act in shows that empower children and represent their rights. So the same responsibility goes into any story that's being produced and that should be produced, because films have two very clear powers to start with. They, in a way, what you see in films, especially if more than one film recreate that same standard, is what you understand as normal. So let's take Disney movies, where women were just entitled to wait for his prince to come, for their prince to come by, and because there was so many narratives reinforcing this, it reinforces a role in society for women. So it's really important that the way you craft your narrative. And not only this, if you think about science fiction, what science
Yeah.
fictions do is that they set in a collective imaginary. And as you said, many people from many different countries watch that same movie. They set imaginariums for futures, and at the end, that's what we believe our future will look like. And in a way, once we project it, that's what we build. So
Mm-hmm.
movies are really, really powerful, and I think that with power comes a great responsibility. So that's
Yeah.
definitely one of my main passions and goals with Garage Story, which is to have a say in the sort of stories that are being told. And that's what I was saying, that the power of community is so important, because I don't think anyone is entitled to represent other realities or other sensitivities, because I may not know about how is life in your country, I may have no idea. I may think what I think because of what I write in the news, but it's definitely very different from what you're actually experiencing in first person. So the best story that we could tell if we were to do something about girl stories, it would be to include me from Spain, you from Pakistan, and people from all other countries, so we can make a story that can represent us all.
Yeah. And honestly, I feel like what you're projecting is really important because, and it has really evolved, I feel like, since the 1990s or the late or like the early 2000s. The entertainment, especially the film industry all over the world. I've seen Nollywood, Hollywood, a lot of woods. And it's all very changed because I mean it was basically the girl waiting in the tower for the prince to come, but now it's kind of the boy, waiting, or it's a girl that is financially independent and mentally independent as well,
Mm-hmm.
and isn't just waiting for some, I'm sorry to say, but stupid Prince Charming to come and save her from
Yeah,
the
yeah,
tower,
yeah. That's
right?
it.
Although Tangled was the first film that I ever watched, that I at least remember watching in my life. I was 3.5. I still remember it. Um, and I feel like at that time I was overwhelmed, yet I had those thoughts. I mean, do I have to wait that way? And I started growing my hair like very long, and I was like, I don't know, some way inspired by the film. But then I was surrounded with such an atmosphere which is really women empowering, that they were like, you don't have to wait for somebody. He has to wait. He has to be the one waiting, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, or it can go other ways, right? I feel like women independence, as when it projects women independence and mental independence of women, it's fine, right? And both for the men. I mean, we wouldn't want that we say women empowerment, then we do a lot, and then men need empowerment, so we keep doing it for like centuries. I wouldn't want that. Let's just kind of equalize it once and for all. Um, what's that one? Uh, what's that one thing that you'd like to say to all the people about the power of entertainment and the power of what you watch? Because what you watch is what you become. Yeah.
That's it. And there is this sentence that I love, which says it's more related to the power of movies when predicting the future, right? But it says that you cannot be what you can't imagine. So that's why we need stories that can project better futures. So that's probably one of the things that we work most with this future shaping, not shaping, because one thing I believe is that it's not just up to garage stories or anyone who participates in it to change the narratives. We need a lot of players that understand that this is happening, and we need to in a way it's just starting the ball so it can keep rolling and more people can be joining. But I would say, yeah, that you cannot be what you can't imagine, and just knowing this, it also means that you shouldn't restrict yourself to think something is impossible, because maybe you think it's impossible just because you haven't imagined it yet, or you haven't been given the tools to imagine how it could be possible.
Yeah. I'm sorry if we're a bit over time, but I want to ask, what do you think are your future goals when it comes to your interest of film, and what do you want to do in the future?
Well, so I am super happy because for the first time, I want to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm loving this journey so much with Garage Stories, and I just want to be able to reach more and more people, and work on projects that can have more impact every time. So, for example, last month we just finished a project with Palestinian filmmakers where we are
Mm-hmm.
empowering them to tell their own stories. And so I just want to keep doing like more and more projects for quite some few years, and
Mm-hmm.
hopefully empower a lot of people in this process, because that's also one of my passions. What we do for Garage Stories is more the empowerment of creators in order to be able to tell that stories. So it's really fulfilling for me. So for now I wish to be able to continue doing that, and every time have more potential to empower more people, and that all these people that's empowered can actually start seeing the fruits of their work.
Yeah. And there's somebody that asked this question that kind of like just caught my eye, and he's saying that have I watched KGF movie from Bollywood? I haven't, by the way. It's way over 18, and I am not allowed to watch it. Never. All Pakistanis see Bollywood, but Pakistan could not develop their movie. Basically, that's what he's trying to say, and he's asking why. And I really want to take a second and answer that. Is this, you know, for a while I wondered that, and I asked one of my very one person that I really admire, who's working in the industry for film, but and I met him and I understood more about it. Is that in Bollywood, the budget for films is in several crores, right? It's like it's a lot. It's like way bigger than what Pakistani budgets are, right? What might an actress, the lead actress, might just be given for a role in the film is the budget of the entire film, which also includes the promotions in Pakistan. That is a difference. And their audience is about 1.3 billion people, right? And ours is 22 million people, right? So we're producing something small for a smaller amount of people, and something very big for a big amount of people. That also depends what kind of films we're making. I mean, no offense to anybody who might be part of the film industry, anybody that I know a lot of people, but we can use a lot more artistic sense. Now, even there's mainstream Bollywood, which has been the same story since more than 30 years. I've seen films from 1980 when my dad was born, and they're the same until if I just kind of do that. It's just like little technological advances, but it's the same. It's like literally the same. Nothing has changed. But if you go towards the more artistic side of Bollywood, which is the art cinema of Bollywood, where there's many actors working, it's amazing. I mean, you watch the film and you're like, bro, how can somebody make it on this topic? I mean, there's films on baldness, on toilets in India not being available, and not enough sanitary products for women. There's a lot of films just on those topics, small topics, but huge films that make a lot of money and have great actors in them. So that's the difference. And we choose to watch Bollywood because entertainment is in our hands. We just can't be forced to watch anything, and we want to watch the best, right? I mean, that's like a thing. Thank you so much, Marta, for coming. It was amazing, amazing, amazing having you here, share all those things, and I honestly really want to thank you, because I feel like it takes courage and it takes effort to be able to share all those things about your life, about your personal life, about your journey, and about your childhood as well. So I really want to thank you and for the precious time that you gave us, and I really hope that you inspire so many people like you've inspired me today. Yeah, and I'm saying that out on an interview. I've never said this, but you really inspired me. Yeah. Thank you so much. What's the last words that you want to say? And then we can sign off.
Same here, Rahim. You are the first thing I did my morning, so it was a really lovely way to start the day, and continue doing what you're doing. And whatever we can do together, we'll be more than happy to.
Amazing. And I would love to discuss something with you afterwards as well, so please stay back. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching, for sharing out if you did. If you didn't, you still have time. You can start a watch party on your respective pages or profiles. You're always welcome to do that. Thank you so much for everybody who's commenting, and for everybody that I could not get a chance of showing their comment. Guys, there's so many comments. I can see them very late, so I'm not always can I put them on the screen, but I always read them. I always am open to all sorts of feedbacks and all sorts of appreciation and all sorts of things that I can improve, which I can, a lot of them. So thank you so much. And with this, I'm ending the broadcast, and I hope that we have somebody we have somebody talented again come in, but well, nobody can really measure up to Marta, can they? But yeah, okay, so thank you. Goodbye, everybody.